Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to make another video to finish up the book of Job. I think in the last video I missed one of the verses I wanted to look at. So we're in Job 28, we're looking at verse 24, and it goes like this. For he looks to the ends of the earth and sees under the whole heaven. This verse is pretty awesome because it gives just a very concise summary of the nature of creation. If you believe that the earth is a globe and that it's, floating through heaven or space, this verse makes no sense. He looks to the ends of the earth. So if we believe, like the Bible says, that the earth is actually a circle, this is my circle earth for now, and it has the border of Antarctica, okay? And if there's a dome firmament which reaches up and over the entire earth from Antarctica to Antarctica, this passage makes perfect sense. The earth would have ends. You'd be able to look at one end of the earth and another end of the earth, and underneath the whole heaven would also make sense on the flat earth, because anywhere underneath the dome, you'd be under the heaven, okay? And that's what the Bible is saying, is that God looks at, is that he can see everything from one end of the earth to the other and under the whole heaven. If you believe that the earth is actually a ball floating through space, this passage doesn't make any sense, because the ends of the earth, well, a sphere doesn't really have ends. It's the circle argument. It's that simple. A circle doesn't have an end or a start. It's continuous. A sphere is just a three-dimensional circle. There's no end, there's no beginning. So how can this verse make sense on a globe model? As well, seeing under the whole heaven. If this is our little ball, heaven is actually in every single direction around this earth, then you can't see underneath it. What does it mean to see underneath it? You see, I believe that the Bible portrays God as a very logical, intelligent, thinking person. I don't think that he would say that anything is under anything if it truly makes no sense. So yeah, that's the verse I missed in the last video. And actually, I want to talk about another verse that I found, which I think some people may use to try and argue for the globe model. But if we take a look at it here, I'll just show you. In chapter 26, verse 7, it says that he, talking about God, stretches out the north over the empty place and hangs the earth upon nothing. So at first blush, if you're not really paying attention to that first part, if you're looking at he hangs the earth upon nothing, even I have to admit that when I see that, I think of a ball earth, the globe floating in space. He hangs it on nothing. So I think actually when I was a kid, probably, when I saw this verse, I think I recall thinking, oh yeah, look, there's a description of the nature of the globe. But when you see this verse and you compare it to all the other ones we've been looking at, it stands in stark contradiction. And what I've kind of learned as I've studied the Bible is that if a myriad of verses in the Bible seem to support, or do in fact support one notion or one idea, and another verse stands in opposition to it, that one verse will not, in all likelihood, overthrow all the other verses. So I think that the same can be true, or is true in this case. He stretches out the north over the empty place and hangs the earth upon nothing. I think, in light of the fact that all the other scriptures say that the earth has foundations, that it's a circle, that it's, the Bible doesn't support the globe model. In light of that, this little phrase here, hangs the earth upon nothing, I believe it could be read, he doesn't hang the earth on anything. You see the negative there? He hangs the earth upon nothing. It's Old English. I believe that the point here is that he doesn't hang the earth on something. Okay, and especially if you look at the first part of the verse, he stretches out the north over the empty place. In the flat earth model, we've got the circle of the earth, and the North Star is actually up in the center of the firmament, and it hangs there over nothing. This would be the greatest space of emptiness in the earth and under the heaven. The closer you get to the firmament and the walls of Antarctica, there's not that much space here, right? But if you go to the north, that's where there's the most space, up to the center of the firmament. It says that he hangs the earth, he stretches out the north over the empty place. So there's a perfect description of the nature of the circular flat Earth. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this video, so I'll see you next time.